Hey guys, I'm running super late today. Apologies. No, let's go with this. Let's go with this. It's too much. Something like later. Almost there. Oh, I like this. Wait, what's this one called? Reminisce. All right, I like this. We'll have to save this one. Where's that thing? Huh? Who's got reminisce? I do. All right, so let's click that off. That's me. Hold on. Go with that. That's too much. Way too much. Does that get me where I need to be? Boom. Look, I typed the word music in there. I was in such a damn hurry this morning. Sorry, guys. Sorry I'm late today. We are doing 8 o'clock. Today was just like, I couldn't help it today. Let's bring this mic down so you can actually hear me mumble. And this chair today. All right. Am I done here? Click that, save that, move that over, untitled, save, overwrite that, drop this here, please go off. So, all right, let's get to it. Let's start here. Are we bonding? We're not even bonding. Hold on. There we are. Should be bonding. There we are. Boom. We're bonding, right? Hold on. Let me just double check. Yep, we're bonding. Good. All right, cool. Boom, 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 boom. A couple things I really want to go over here that I think are pertinent. I don't like how that looks. All right. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Now that writing is like all over my face. Hold on. Well, I'm just going to have to leave that there today. All right. There's nothing I can do about it now. I'm going to go through a couple things before this data comes out at 8:30. You need to really start watching this data. And I want to go through this today so that we're on the same page. So here's the third. I thought it was the fourth, or I thought yesterday was the fourth for some reason. Let me find the date. I want to show you this. So this is 10 o'clock. This is 8:15 news. So we have that number that comes out, right? The ADP. Man, I can't wait to get this new place and everything will be set up a little bit better. All right. So, all right, you see this ADP right here? And that's the ADP data. You see how we're riding the line the whole time? That move is a number that usually means very little to us. ISM, the PMI number, but for services. We exploded on that number. Now, the reason that that's important is because that shows how sensitive, and this is what you always want to watch. You always want to see how sensitive you are to this stuff. Like, how sensitive are you to the market right now, right? And right now, you're pretty darn sensitive to the market. So that tells you that non-farm payrolls tomorrow is going to be wild. It's not going to be like one of these non-event kind of days. And I think that's a very important distinction. So it's certainly something that I'm paying attention to. And I would suggest that you pay attention to it as well. Just watching this for a second. That news is pretty big, what Meta's doing today, just FYI. See, like, I'm not feeling the way any of this is set up today. Like, I'm out of sorts. I'm vexed. So let's get back to this. So you're going to want to watch this really closely. Now, today, we have some data coming out, but it's not the end of the world data. So one site that you could go to look at this is Trading Economics and use their calendar, and it's free. And here, I'm going to go to it now so I can show you that. What the heck is that? I don't even know how that happened. Usually I get this. What does this do? Hold on. Some screen sharing was canceled. Well, why? Oh, there I am. Boom. That's a lot. Let's go back to this one. There I am. I'm way more comfortable in the shadows. All right, let's go here and here. Also share the tab audio. The tab doesn't have audio. Too many buttons. All right, so you see this? So this is Trading Economics. All you have to do here is go to countries, and you can click off all these, whatever you want to do, right? It doesn't matter. But you want to use this. I mean, here you just can click clear, right? And then just go to US and then hit US right there, and then just go save, right? And come back, and it'll just give you US data. They highlight what's kind of important in dark, and then they will go and they'll highlight in red, like what you really, really super need to pay attention to. So they do a good job. But what we're looking for is this initial jobless claims, which will come out in like 30 seconds. And they're pretty spot on with the data. Like, I have services that are really expensive, but they'll come out like right when the data comes out usually. Like, they're pretty good about it. As for somebody that has access to like really expensive ones, I don't even show some of them because people say, well, what's that? How do you get access to it? Or why? How much is that? Doesn't matter. But like, is there an edge there? Yeah, there can be an edge there. But like this kind of stuff, initial jobless claims, and then if you watch the market, you're going to just want to see how this acts. So we'll give it a couple seconds, and then this will come out. It's going to come out in about 6 seconds here, and we'll watch. But this kind of data, is it important? It's important, but it's not as important, obviously, as some of the large stuff. So here you go, boom, bounce trade. It just starts happening. See how we're jumping already on that news? And it's nonsense news. Well, it's supposed to come out at 8:30. It should be here already. It's already out. There it is. So 221. So you're a little higher than expected. And claims 4-week average. And so here, now watch what the market's doing on this. So you see, like, this is like nonsense numbers, right? Like, it's not big numbers and you're already moving on it. So that's the point that I'm getting at here. All right. So that this stuff's really starting to move around on like nonsense. Pardon me. The reason that that's important is it tells you how sensitive the market's going to be tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. All right. All right. Let's get to it. So a couple other things that I thought were really interesting. You got to watch. I would watch this today. People would be like, oh, this moves over. On Meta, I really do not think that move is anywhere near over, quite frankly. I really don't. That's a really big long-term move that they did. And it's going to give them a lot more income than people think it is. So just keep that in mind. Why won't you open? Why are you giving me a hard time today? And I would focus on what moved yesterday more than anything else. If something moved yesterday, I would expect that move to continue, right? That's kind of where my head would be with it, okay? That's where I would go. So like if Micron moved yesterday, you might want to watch Micron again today because they're repositioning themselves, right? You're starting to see these kinds of names move. The uranium, everyone's about the uranium life right now. You're going to want to start watching what's moving. PLTR is breaking out. It started moving yesterday. Anything that moved yesterday, you're going to want to watch because that's the stuff that they're telling you they're going to buy if non-farm payrolls is good. So I'll say that again. They're the ones you want to watch because if non-farm payrolls is lower than expected, that's what they're going to buy. And they're not going to care about previous prices. They're not going to care. They're just going to print, right? That's just what's going to happen. You can see it coming. We're so out of sorts with where we are in the market right now that this is where we're leaning, right? So you always just kind of want to pay attention to that. So a couple other things I think were interesting. Spot, they're going to do some kind of super premium membership. I guess super secret handshake kind of something. I don't even know what's included with it. I forget what I spent. I have like the family thing. I love Spotify, like literally every day. Even when I practice my vocals, it's all Spotify all the time. And what you want to see is just like how you're trying to break out up here. So, I don't know. I think this has massive potential. I've been saying it for some time. This one it's really hard for me to trade. It's so easy to look at in hindsight, isn't it? But it's really hard for me to trade. I usually get in, make a couple dollars and get stopped out. It's really one of those names you want to buy and forget that you own. I do think that they could take YouTube someday. I really do. His stance on, that the content is owned by the actual creator, where, YouTube takes the stance it's theirs. It's very different. And there's something to that. That's why you can share the content like on YouTube. And I think YouTube does an excellent job. I really do. But I think there's room for improvement, but there always is, right? So I think that you need two in the spot. I'm thinking it was Rumble. You need two. I was thinking it was going to be Rumble. I'm not so sure that he's going to be able to figure it out. He seems to be struggling a little bit now. He should have seized on a couple of things, in my opinion, that he's just not seizing on. And I don't know why. But then again, he's the billionaire, not me. So what do I know? But I'd be watching this really closely. And, I just feel like this thing's just going to keep going, this meta. But let's see what happens there. I really do want to watch that today. Very apprehensive to just get involved pre-market right now, considering what we've seen happen in the market. So we're just going to really want to watch and see how this stuff plays out. But I do like the way Meta is shaping up here. I do. I like the way a lot of these names are starting to shape up. It's interesting because what you've done a lot here, take a look at this. Let me show you what I mean by this. I'm not saying you have to go out and buy MSTR, and what's crazy is even yesterday, I bought calls yesterday. I make you laugh. I bought calls yesterday, the day before, actually. I got like 130 point move or something ridiculous on them. What did I get? No, it was probably less than that. And I made literally when I tell you that I made nothing, I made literally nothing on them. It was just really kind of maddening, to say the least. So we'll see how this goes. But I think I made like $5, and then all of a sudden turn around and ran. But it's just been such a monster, and you can't really play with the levels there. But watch this for a second. You're seeing a lot of this. Watch. See how you're hitting that 22 and then you're bouncing? This thing's not going to stop. You're just not going to stop. It's so maddening. I had 3 different entries on this thing that I wound up getting shaken out right here, all because of that darn lawsuit and huge short positions last week. And then they come out with this creator series, and it clearly leaked. I mean, people in the know obviously knew. They were buying it. We couldn't figure out why it was being bought so aggressively. The Google news is really bad, by the way, guys. That Google is saying, oh, we're probably going to charge for AI search, or we're considering it. That's not good. It gives a huge advantage to Microsoft. I mean, there's a reason why Microsoft's up. There's a reason why Meta was up last night before this news even hit. So, all right. Give me a second. No, they're all selling higher. They're all selling higher. It's probably just going to keep pushing. They're just going to keep, oh, look at that. Yep, they're all going to keep pushing it. Hold on. Yep, they're going to take it right out. Yep, this thing's going to keep going. You're probably going to want to watch this today. Hold on one second here, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So I was watching level 2 while we were talking, and you could just see someone literally put 10,000 out there at 516, and it got eaten. Whenever you see something like that, like you can't see it now, I'm not going to pull that screen up, but whenever you're looking at like level 2 and someone drops like big size right on the ask, like they're not even hiding it, and it just goes away like that, that usually means you're pressing and you're going higher, and that there's an appetite for it. There's an appetite for Meta. So let's see how that goes. In regards to, some of these other moves, you're going to want to watch tomorrow. Watch non-farm payrolls. Watch the interest rate sensitive names. This is one that we've been in for a while. I just want to walk through this because it acted the best, in my opinion, out of all of them. So everybody knows that this gentleman got elected, right? Back here is when he got elected. And then stock drops. Everyone panicked, scared, weak, womanly hands right here, right? Everyone's like, oh, right? All he did was have a huge write-off. And then what happens? Boom, it starts breaking out, pushing. So what are you going to do there, right? Everyone panics because they're looking at the past, not the future. All they did was take a huge write-off. Look at this move yesterday. Okay, all this move in Argentina. Okay, if you go and take a look at this, go look at this on a 5-minute chart. When the move happened, right around 10 o'clock, right? Now it's hard to see because of that. I guess I can do like the line thing. See that right here? Okay, when did that happen? 10 o'clock. Argentina is tied to the US. No matter how we want to play it, what we want to say, Argentina is tied to the US. So if that's the case here, and we know that, think of Argentina as levered US equities, right? Just think of it that way. So when people are looking at buying, it was funny. I was teasing someone yesterday about this because they were looking at like one of these other banks. And I was explaining this to them and like how it works. I did this for us and, on this about a month ago. I think I went through Argentina, the whole thing, like maybe it was 3 weeks ago on a Saturday. The Saturday videos, for those that are newer, these videos they're much longer. But I was just walking them through them like, this isn't rocket science, guys. Like these are pretty easy trades. Like there's really very little reason this thing, barring somebody stopping this guy, and I'll leave it at that. Very little reason that these things just aren't going to grind higher. I mean, they own the underlying debt of Argentina. Argentina debt is basically doubled from 20 cents or 30 cents to 50 or 60 cents on the dollar. They have it all in their books. They can then borrow more. Now that they have more capital, they can outlay more capital, right? It means they can generate more loans, et cetera, more growth, more growing opportunity. And how long before you think JP Morgan or Goldman or one of these guys tries to get a foothold in Argentina and buy a bank? I don't think it's going to take that long before you start to see that kind of activity. That's just my opinion. And I think the banking industry makes more sense than like even the energy industry because it's more levered to the economy. But this has just been a monster as well. Absolute monster since that, right? So you can see that as well. So that's why I like the Argentinian banks the most. They're as tied to us as need be. So just keep that in mind. Energy names are energy names. I would not be going against what's working. I'm just going to leave it at that. I would not be trying to reinvent the wheel, right? In last night's video, what I really tried to get home to people was what you're looking to do as a trader is utilize the same principles that you did on tech into the sectors that are outperforming tech, right? if you look at the uranium names or the energy names, I'm just using the same principles that I did in VLO, in MPC every day when I'm trading them now. That's all I'm doing. I'm just using the same exact principles in these names that I was using when NVIDIA was running or AMD was running or SMCI was running. It doesn't mean they're done. It just means you're rotating because you're at a different place in time. 4 weeks from now, this could look completely different. Remember, the entire, and you'll remember this, but this entire move in the market, let's clean all this off, started with ASML. So this entire new move out of tech, right, if you remember, started here on their earnings, January 23rd, and then it spread, right? Okay. Then it spread, right? This is when they came out, pre-announced they were going to have good numbers, right? And then you're here a week later on those earnings, right? So the first one that kicked this whole thing off was ASML, and they have earnings in 2 weeks. So that's going to give you a real sign here on which way this market's going as far as tech. And they stated they were in a multi-year ramp up. So if for some reason they're not in a multi-year ramp up right now, well, that's going to be a real pickle for them, a real pickle. So something to think about. All right. Hope that's helpful. Let's get to some questions. Let's get to that. What's going on, Bob? I was wondering how you best use visibility range volume profile, where it puts the volume bars by price. You explained it once ago. VRVP. I just call it volume by price. I don't know what VRVP is. Maybe that's where I got thrown off. Let's play around with this. Let me see if I can find it. Favorite indicators. VRVP. Visible range. Okay, I've got it marked here. Let's click on, see what happens. Oh, you have it saved. Okay, so that's just volume by price. I wonder why they call it that. I wonder why they call it that. So if you're asking, let me see if I get your question right. I was wondering about how best to use the range where it puts the volume bars by price. Well, there's a couple things with this. Do I use this? I use this all the time. I use volume by price all the time. And you want to pick very specific spots where you're doing it. So you usually pick event spots. So like here, I'll give you an example. So this was earnings, right? So I'd go to earnings. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you want to see where everybody is from that earnings, right? So you'd want to see where everybody's at from that earnings. And now the red line is going to give you point of control. Okay. So let me just go here for a second and make sure of this. You can change your row size and the volume area, et cetera. So like you can, and I'll change it. Say it. Right. So you're changing the colors. All right. Anyway, if you go into this, so that's point of control, right? So that's really what you want to know. So I'm going to make that white just for the heck of it. I probably shouldn't make it white, really, so people can see it. Maybe that's why they had it red. All right. Maybe I'll just leave it red and I'll make it super big. All right. So point of control is not volume by price. It's not the average volume. That's not the average volume. That's point of control. So if I go here, that's showing me the price where somebody owns the most, right, Ross? So that is where somebody owns the most amount of stock. And that's where you want to, that's how you want to think about it. Okay. My initial response to this is that there's a lot of value in it, but you want to pick specific dates and times. You don't want to just go, oh, well, I'm looking at this and there's some volume here. Well, there's no real volume up here. It's all down here. So it's got blue skies. Well, that's a bunch of nonsense, right? Because this changed the story. This earnings changed the story, right? So you have to understand that earnings changed the story. Therefore, this is what matters. And then if you come here and take a look from that earnings point on, you'll note what happened. Well, that was your point of control. Well, for whatever reason, you have somebody here that wants to own that stock at that price point. Go figure. So I look at that as, and you can look at it the same way, or you can look at it however you want, but that's a shelf. Meaning if you break that, then you're probably going to break down. So I'll sometimes overlay that with something like, let me see if I have one on here, like a 22, right? And I'll see where the 22 is. I'll see where the 55 is, things like that. And I'll try to get a sense of it, right? This should be white, right? Okay. And so you kind of like how you're wedged in here. It's not really telling me much, but it's not really being as valid as I'd like it to be. But you're bucked above that 22, which I think is interesting. I think it's very interesting that these are within 3 to 5 minutes, all these kinds of trades actually are staying above the 22. But anyway, all right. That's how I would use it. I'm very interested in point of control. Now, I'm going to show you something. So if we go and take a look at VWAP, and I drop VWAP there, you're going to get a very different number for VWAP. So if you are to average all this together, you're going to get VWAP, right? Let me clean these off. Hold on, Ross. So you're going to get a very different number for VWAP than you are for point of control. Point of control is where the most stock is owned at the most price. It's not the average of all of this, right? This VWAP is all of this added together, and then you get this point in time, and right? That's what you're getting. This is going to change. So will this, obviously, with time. But that's what point of control is. I find point of control extremely helpful. Another 1,600 out there at 15.6, 516. Let's see if they take it on Meta. What's up, Jacob? So, what do you got, a little cowboy hat? What are y'all saying, Aussie? Good day, mate? I probably get that. They probably would not like that. They probably think I'm making fun of them down there. I've never been to Australia. I'd like to go, frankly. That's like on the bucket list. Speaking of point of control, you'll see it up here. But let me click off of this now before I start confusing the living heck out of people. So I own this, just candidly. Jacob, I've been in this a while. I think it makes a lot of sense considering their business, how they're tied to energy. I think it's very difficult to not want to be in this name. It just blew through a major resistance like a hot knife through butter. I mean, it's really hard to not, want to be there. So all you got to do is just, watch this one. But this was really your major level right in here. I mean, bonk, bonk, breaks, support, bonk, 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 and now you're through, right? I mean, yeah. I own a lot of this. We've done really well with it. It's a very easy low beta trade. Like I don't really lose sleep over it. From where we're in, I think we're up like 200 points, but that was pre-split, right? I think we paid 15 or something, 15 or 16. I think it's like the equivalent of 18 now, right? Something like that. Maybe we're up even more. It's 3-1, right? So I think it's like right around here somewhere or something. I'd have to go look, but it's something like that. We're up. Yeah, we're up like 200 points, maybe a little under. Anyway, if you look at that, I don't know how you're not getting through that. I really don't. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. I really do. It's a very easy, low beta, chill trade that I just look at every day, and it's up. So. Bear with me one second, guys. Yay. All right. So I like it a lot, man. I mean, I own a lot of it. CCJ I was looking at the other day, and then I just kept looking at it, and then I just kept going higher. I have other trades on in this space. I think that was a mistake, but I don't know the space that well. So I was afraid to just buy company-specific risk. I just bought the physical asset. But yeah, I mean, these things look like they're going to be monsters. And this makes a lot of sense because I think this is where we're heading. Independence, independent energy, non-reliant. I think this is where we're all going. I really do. If you were to look at a decade from now, I really think this is where the world's going. Sorry about the cough drop. My throat's dry. PNR, I don't know that one, brother. I don't really know how much value I'm adding here, dude. I mean, it's a straight line. You're at a 45-degree angle. You have institutional accumulation. There's only one reason that you do this. You have institutional accumulation, right? I mean, that's not retail. Retail's schizophrenic. We all know this. I'm in, I'm out, I'm short. So like, that's just institutional buying. I don't know how much value I'm adding there, really. What do you expect AG to hit a resistance? I didn't like trading silver. No, it doesn't matter if I like it or not. It doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. I have an opinion about everything, even stuff I should. Air France, Jesus. How about the G? I have an opinion about things I shouldn't even have an opinion about. But it doesn't mean like, look, I can't tell you how many times I have a friend that's like a big trader. Well, the way he trades, it's big. Like he trades physical assets, right? And he's always in silver. And he's always talking about the next silver boom. And he does exceptionally well with it. It's crazy, but he's always wrong. But it's just the way he trades. And then I'll finally acquiesce and get in the trade, and we'll laugh because it's literally usually like the top of silver. I think I've top ticked it like 3 times. It is what it is. It's just not my forte. You know, I'm like the flashing sell signal every time I enter silver. So if you ever see me like on a video on YouTube saying, oh, I'm buying silver, like run away screaming. But it just doesn't work for me. I do much better with gold or some of the other physical assets. And I don't know why. It's just the way that it is. So when I note that, I just avoid it. You know, stocks have personality, assets have personalities. They trade like the people that trade them. So maybe they're just not, I just don't vibe with them, whatever. I mean, there's not much to say here, man. You're probably going to 810. Where's it going after that? I was never really a fan of silver. I mean, like I can own an ounce of silver. Like how many ounces of silver do I have to have in my pocket for every ounce of gold I have to have in my pocket? Like the physicality of it to me just never really made sense. Right? Like you could have like 10 gold 1 ounce coins in your pocket and you're walking around the street with 20, 25 grand. Like you're not doing that with silver. The physicality of it just never made sense to me. And I mean, if I was going to own gold or own silver, if like really want to own it, I want the physicality of it. So it just never made sense to me. It doesn't mean it can't work. I'd be shocked, I tell you, if it doesn't get to 810. I don't know what's going to make it sell off, man. It's funny. I see you're a little soccer guy. Since I've been in Miami, like I'm in the soccer now. Everyone's so in the soccer down here. It's crazy. No one goes to a Dolphins game. And compared to soccer, it's crazy. I don't know. You're going to pick the high. But you pick the low. If you didn't pick the low, what makes you think you're going to pick the high? I don't see any reason for this to stop, man. Like zero. Like I literally see zero reason for this to stop. What's up, Billy? We went over it. What's going on, Kay? Hopefully you caught it. Here's the problem with LABU. unless you're going to give me the lottery numbers or tell me what non-farm payrolls is tomorrow, you have no idea what happens. I saw this the other day. I took a shot. I wound up just blowing it out. Basically, I think I lost 5 cents. I blew out right over the 55 for the first time. See it? And I'm still above the 55. You want to take the other side of that trade? Go for it. These are the moves of the last time it's done it. If you don't get the free newsletter, there's a link in the description, and waitlist invitations are going out. Demand's been pretty high, so like I'm weaning it off a little bit. So it'll be open probably for another 4 days, and then I'll close it and then open it again. I mean, you want to play with that? You want to bet against that? I don't know, brother. I mean, I don't want to bet against that. Itchy today. I think I got allergies. I don't want to bet against that. Wing's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what's going on here, but Rick Ross is killing it, right? What's going on with his little buddy there? I like Wing a lot. Mike runs a beast. What's up, Simply? What's up, Finn? I feel like I haven't seen you for whatever. I don't do podcasts, dude. I get asked all the time doing podcasts. I don't do them. I'm not saying anything against him. I actually think he's a very nice guy. I just don't do them. We talked once before about it, but it's not my wheelhouse. I'd rather put my time into this. And I wouldn't put much into people that win that championship either. I mean, I actually didn't even talk about it. Someone else brought it up. Shell looks good. All these names look good. BP looks good. They all look great, man. I mean, I don't know how you can look at these and not like them, but I don't like doing podcasts, dude. It's not my thing. I'd rather just answer questions live. I might do that, dude. I'm seriously considering just opening up a mic and answering questions, Q&A. What am I going to do? Go on a podcast, point at a chart, say honor your stops, do this. Look at me. It's exhausting. Good morning, Boomer. What's up? What's up, Luke? I don't know. I'm not knocking it. I guess I am knocking it, Finn. They're both going higher. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I actually think that gold and silver and the assets are moving for different reasons. I think they're moving because of geopolitical risk. China telling people that are in this country, in the US, to beware. I think that's really an issue. Biden on the phone with China saying we affirm your one China policy. Okay. 2 wars going on. Ukraine threatening to cut off Russia's pipeline to Europe. All right. Israel and Gaza is just an absolute disaster. I mean, that's a disaster. And they finally got to bring food in, and then, some guy that is in one of those humanitarian aid trucks, gets blown up like from an outside bomb. Like, there's so much instability in the world. It's crazy. And I've got a VIX trading under 15. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me what's going on here. With the lack of risk in the market. And I think as a hedge, I think they're buying physical assets. That's where my head is with it. I actually think that oil should be a heck of a lot higher than it is right now. I really do. I hope that helps. I think it's going to go a lot higher. I don't like T because they're losing their customer base and they're going to have to cut the dividend. That's why I don't buy T. I know people love it and they're like, I dollar cost average in. Do you? How's that going? I mean, that's exhausting. Like, that's like, you want a dollar cost average in, you want to buy something with yield. You know, when the pandemic hit, my phone rang off the hook, right? And everyone's like, what do we buy? What do we buy? I'm like, just buy Exxon. And everyone said to me, like, of all the names, you're going to buy Exxon? I'm like, right here. You know, 4 years later, I'm like, dude, you're getting 11% on Exxon. And they've never missed a dividend payment in 40 years. The dividend only goes up. Even with Valdez, the dividend just kept going up. Now you're up 4x and you're earning 11% on that money. I mean, that's what you dollar cost average into. You always want to dollar cost average into the ones that are expanding, not, you know, AT&T's got issues. What's up, Steve? I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. I think you're seeing a lot of money going to Europe, dude. And I think it's going to continue. I do. I think that does continue. I think you're going to see a lot of money going into Europe. A lot. I looked at this back here on this break. I'm like, I think it's going to go a lot higher. Timo. What's up, Danny? What's up, Lise? Where's my hold on? Hold on. Are they partnering? PLTR actually looks decent. You got a lot of overseas news, man. the only thing that gets me about NVIDIA is that it closed under that level. It hasn't done that yet, and it just did it. And now today, of course, it's going to be up, right? Now I got sellers in Meta. So we'll see. GTC got their audits. Did they? Is that why it was like running? They got sorted out. So that's good. You know, hopefully that works. I mean, it seems to be. Pardon me. Yeah, Dell's got blue skies, dude. I mean, it's got nothing but air above it now, like nothing. So they're the ones you want to watch. What's going on here? My internet is down. What do you mean your internet's down? I don't even have a response to that. If you're texting me, how can your internet be down? What's up, Cam? Morning, Boomer. I like Dell a lot. I would look at Dell. I would stay away from that. I would really stay away from that. Toll and Len look like beasts, dude. All that whole sector looks fantastic. I got to get to the end of it. What do you mean sound? The sound works. What are you guys talking about? I even got the little light lit up. Well, they're getting bought. They're getting bought. I know. So call me itchy. What's up, John? AVGO cost. Let's see if I missed anything. I got to go over there. Nicola, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. You say good day, man. Yeah, that might not be the worst idea. See if I miss anything here. I always read the comments late. I got to start at the beginning of the comments. I go through everybody's comments. All right, I got to jump. Trade to win today, guys.